Laura. Welcome to SAS, Second Act Soul Sisters. I had mentioned in our last video that I was going to try some cottage cheese ice cream. And this particular recipe is going to be the cottage cheese chocolate ice cream. There are only 3 ingredients and very simple. Actually, it's 4 ingredients. It's cottage cheese, unsweetened cocoa, honey, and vanilla extract. And I'm going to get the cottage cheese out of the refrigerator because the recipe calls for the cold. Okay, so let's get this started. It is 1 cup of cottage cheese, preferably the whole milk. You can use the low fat. The whole milk, I guess, makes it creamier. So 1 cup of cottage cheese. I'm going to put it in a blender, or you can use a food processor. Okay, that's 1 cup. And then it's 2 tablespoons of unsweetened cocoa. And it's kind of got lumps in the cocoa here. Flatten down. Okay, so there's 1 tablespoon. And there's 2 tablespoons. Okay. Next is 2 tablespoons of honey, or you can use another sweetener like stevia, maltose, and I don't know for sure how much of that. This recipe just called for 2 tablespoons of honey. So this is a brand new honey, so let's see. Oh, it's coming out pretty good. Okay, there's 1. And there is 2. Okay, and then it is 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Okay. Now comes the mixing. So I'm going to I'll put it on low. Well, maybe this doesn't. I don't think I've ever used a food processor. I don't know if it would work better. I did buy a smaller blender, but for some reason it's not working. This looks pretty good. Okay, this actually looks like kind of like a pudding. It's got a pudding texture. It looks good to me. Okay. So the next thing we do is you need to put it in the freezer. So it's any kind of dish, but it needs to have a lid. And so what we're going to do, it calls for, I think it's about let's see, it says about 2.5, 3 hours, or 2 to 3 hours in the freezer total. But during the first, after it's been in there for about an hour and a half, you want to bring it out and put plastic wrap, saran wrap, which I don't have, or parchment paper over it. And then that prevents the ice crystals. And then you put it back, put the lid over the top of that, and then put it back in the freezer for another hour, hour and a half. So I'm going to pour this in. You want it in not a real deep, because it's not, there isn't really a whole lot in here. I think that's about as big as I'm going to get it. Yeah, that's about as good as I'm going to get it. Okay, so this did not, of course, you know, it's not going to fill up the whole container. It's only, I don't know, about that deep. But you don't want it, you want it kind of thinned out. Let's see, well, try to show you here. You can see, it's not really full. Okay, so now I'm just gonna put the lid on it and stick it in the freezer for about an hour and a half. And then I will pull it out in an hour and a half and put parchment paper over the top of it, and then freeze it for about another hour and a half. Now you can, once it's completed, you can melt some dark chocolate morsels. Now these are not unsweetened or sugar, low in sugar. These are just regular dark chocolate morsels I got at Aldi's. There is a brand like called Lily's, I believe, that are at a lot of different grocery stores. I know Kroger's has it. I think Walmart does too. But just drizzle. You just want to like melt maybe a half. Let's see what my recipe says. About a half a cup of dark chocolate in the microwave, and then just kind of drizzle it over your scooped ice cream that you're going to eat. It's just kind of like a topping. It's just optional. You don't have to. You could do caramel if you like caramel, or you could do a mixture of both. That's whatever you prefer. And that's what I'm going to do, though. I'm just going to melt some chocolate and drizzle it over the top when I go to eat it. And I will get back with you in about an hour and a half to... Actually, I will get back with you when it's completely done. I think we'll do a taste test. Okay, see you later. Okay, it's been 3 hours, and now we're going to give this a taste. After about an hour and a half, I did put parchment paper on it and then stuck it back in the freezer for another hour and a half. So, because it's getting close to us going to be fixing dinner, I'm not going to actually eat a serving of the ice cream. I'm going to save it for later on tonight, but you can melt in the microwave a half a cup of chocolate chips, any kind you want, and just drizzle it over your scooped ice cream. It's optional, you don't have to. So here is what it looks like. Can you see that? It's frozen like ice cream. So I'm gonna take a bite of this. It really does taste like chocolate ice cream. It's really chocolatey. I'm gonna take one more bite. Yeah. It's a little, I think it's a little, you can taste a little bit like salt from the cottage cheese. So maybe another teaspoon or tablespoon, another tablespoon of honey probably would do it. But it really is good, especially when you're gonna drizzle melted chocolate on top of this your scooped ice cream. Yes, it's good. On a scale 1 to 5, 5 meaning good, I would give this a 4.5, 4.5. It's good. So that's it. I don't know what I'll bake next or make next. We'll see. Have a good day and thanks for watching. Bye. Good morning. Welcome to SAS, Second Act Soul Sisters. We had the ice cream last night, the cottage cheese, chocolate cottage cheese ice cream. And after it sat in the freezer for a few more hours, I want to rate this again. Well, I give it a 2. Marty said it wasn't too bad. He probably would have given it more like a 3. It got saltier the more it sat in the freezer. And so you probably should change the honey from, I think it was 2 tablespoons to more like 4, or even maybe leave it at the 2 tablespoons and add maybe some stevia, some sweetener to it. The sweetness would, the extra sweetness would take out that salty. So I was going to do, and I forgot to check, by the time, I don't even know how many calories the whole milk cottage cheese has. I was going to check and I forgot. Versus maybe a low sugar ice cream. Is it really even worth it? I know that Skinny Cow has like the fudge bars, and they're, I don't know, like 80 calories, something like that. To me, that would be worth eating. I mean, they taste better than this ice cream, this cottage cheese ice cream. I'm not a fan of it. I won't be making it again to eat it. I would just go get me one of those boxes of Skinny Cow fudge bars, or something that's equivalent to it. But I wanted to give an update. That's it. I give it a thumbs down. Marty's, 3 maybe. And I did dribble some of the, I melted some chocolate chips, some dark chocolate chips, and drizzled it over the top, and it hardens. And that was the best part. But that's it. I won't be doing it again. I don't like it. and you guys can try it and see for yourselves. Alrighty, thanks. Have a good day. Bye.